Alright, this video is for, forget it here, Johanna Puukila. And so, first thing, there's a couple things that you want to kind of look at. One would be the anatomy of the character. I think you did okay, but the problem you have is in a couple different areas. First things first, your uh, facial curve around here. The problem is you have a 3D object. So this is your face, which the outside face is okay here, but then you break down that face into smaller pieces, and the proportions of your face need to be adjusted. So center line coming down like so, that means the nose is going to come out a little bit more, the mouth is going to move forward a little bit more, and then you're going to hide a lot more of your eye over here, and then facial proportions. So the face needs to round out a little bit more. And then it would also need to be moved forward because you want to have the neck come forward like so. And then developing your form on top of that would be the next thing. All right, and this is just going to come from looking at reference instead of trying to come up with this in your head. Especially with the figure, you're going to curve that around more, because if you look at the upper body here, the way she's posed, her spinal column would not be seen, so it's almost at a 3/4 angle like so. Here's your spinal column, but your rib cage is like this, but your collarbones are being forced out, and so the arms would be pushed out, and it's just the way you want to develop your thing. Both arms are leaning forward, and you're kind of arching your back. So more torso, and then build the breasts on top of that. So that's one aspect of what you really want to do is look at more anatomy, and then that'll actually help you out as far as that standpoint. From color, though, what I would say is right now you've got if you look at your color palette here, um, your color palette really does not change at all. Looking at it, even the brights here, you're still in that same valid orange. And so what I would tell you to do is get a layer and add some blue, especially with African American people. They've got a lot more dark shadows and stuff like that. So adding blue is going to help you round out your form a little bit more, like so. And it'll darken and create a little bit more definition and stuff like that. So you can easily go in there and build up that information. And so getting a better value contrast in there is going to help that out as well. And then getting a little bit more detail. And you can see as I do this, that just gives me a little bit more definition, a little bit more form in my original piece. And then what you want to do is define where your light is coming from. So I would put, something like that, and that's going to help you out as well. So like I said, putting a darker or a blue value in the skin is going to really push the form a little bit more. And let me something like that. And if this is gold, that that gold needs to be highlighted. So what you need to do is you would need to really push the bright highlights of this gold. So, and you want to get that shape and that form like so. And if it's also gold, you know, if there are wraps around the character, you want to also have definition to it. So you're just going to add thickness to the bands, to everything like that. But the big thing is figure out where your light is coming from and add a little bit more color values in there. You know, especially with the tonal values, you can add in reds for the cheeks and the nose here. And they don't have to be like subtle reds. It just has to be enough to kind of diffuse that color. And you can kind of see I didn't really change the value at all. I just kind of adjusted the tone, and that those reds add a little bit warmth to the character. You know, you probably put a little bit in the nose here and things like that. You'd have, you know, cooler colors with like your yellow here. You'd have your cooler colors up in the forehead, and then your blues are going to be in your chin to give you that. So that's another aspect that you really want to pay attention to. So as said before, basically you want to get your anatomy in there. Use more reference. I like the way you did the wool or the pelt or whatever this is on her. Gets kind of rough down here on the bottom, but I would get the anatomy in there so that it looks cleaner and it looks much more accurate. And then get the shadows in there and those warm tones and stuff like that in there, and that's going to really make your system pop out a little bit more. All right.